Imagine walking into a classroom where every student has already been labeled a failure. Their teachers have given up on them, their parents barely understand them, and the school is only waiting for the day they finally drop out. Now imagine that the man assigned to teach them isn't just an ordinary teacher. Before becoming an educator, he survived some of the most dangerous battlefields imaginable. His fists are stronger than steel, his instincts are sharper than a knife, and every lesson he teaches comes from real-life experience instead of textbooks. But what nobody knows is that his mysterious past is about to collide with his present, putting both him and his students in incredible danger. Henry Chan arrives at the school as the new teacher for the notorious Class 6E, a class every teacher avoids because of its unruly students. Instead of welcoming him, the students ignore his introduction, chat loudly, and try to make him lose his temper. They expect him to quit like the others before him. Surprisingly, Henry remains calm, introducing himself with a smile and continuing the lesson as if nothing unusual is happening. His patience only confuses the class, who have never met a teacher unwilling to shout or hand out punishments. Rather than focusing on textbooks, Henry begins observing each student's behavior, quietly noticing their strengths and struggles. He realizes that behind their bad attitudes are personal problems that no one has taken the time to understand. While the rest of the school has already labeled them as failures, Henry decides they deserve another chance. Unknown to the students, this calm and friendly teacher is hiding an extraordinary past that will soon change all of their lives. Henry begins his first proper lesson, but the students continue testing his patience. Some throw paper across the classroom, while others refuse to pay attention. Instead of punishing them, Henry asks simple questions about their dreams and future. The class laughs because no teacher has ever cared enough to ask. As the lesson continues, Henry notices that every student is struggling with something outside school. One works late to support his family, another hides his loneliness behind jokes, while another has completely lost confidence in herself. Henry quietly memorizes these details, determined to help each of them in his own way. Later, a hot-tempered student tries to challenge him in front of everyone. With incredible speed, Henry avoids every attack and calmly restrains the student without seriously hurting him. The watching students are stunned by his fighting skills. Instead of humiliating the boy, Henry helps him up and explains that true strength comes from self-control, not violence. For the first time, the class begins to see that their new teacher is unlike anyone they have ever met. Later, Henry visits the students outside the classroom and discovers many of them come from difficult family backgrounds. Some are being pressured by gangs, while others have lost faith in school completely. Instead of giving them another lecture, he speaks to them honestly, telling them that everyone deserves a second chance if they're willing to fight for it. Although the students pretend not to care, his words begin to stick. A few of them secretly start paying attention during lessons, while others become curious about who their mysterious teacher really is. Just as Henry starts earning their trust, an old enemy from his dangerous past finally discovers where he's hiding. The peaceful life he's trying to build as a teacher is about to collide with the violent world he thought he had left behind. Henry's peaceful routine doesn't last long. The criminals searching for him finally trace his location to the school. At first, they don't attack directly. Instead, they begin watching from a distance, collecting information and waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. Henry notices unfamiliar faces lingering around the campus and immediately realizes his past has finally caught up with him. Rather than panic, he becomes even more protective of his students. He quietly keeps an eye on them after school, making sure they get home safely without revealing the danger surrounding them. The students think their teacher is simply being strict, but Henry knows they're becoming targets without even realizing it. Meanwhile, one of the boys in Class 6B gets involved with local troublemakers after trying to solve a personal problem on his own. The situation quickly gets out of control, and he finds himself cornered by a violent group. Just when it seems he's about to be badly beaten, Henry suddenly appears. With incredible precision, he disarms the attackers and defeats them in seconds, using only enough force to stop the fight without seriously hurting anyone. The student is left speechless. He finally understands that Mr. Chen's strength isn't just a rumor. More importantly, Henry explains that real courage isn't about winning fights, it's about making the right choices before violence becomes necessary. That lesson leaves a much bigger impact than the fight itself. News of the incident spreads throughout the school, and the once rebellious students begin seeing Henry as someone they can truly rely on. They slowly start working harder in class, respecting each other more, and believing they can change their future. Henry notices strangers keeping watch near the school and immediately suspects they are connected to his past. While continuing to teach as if nothing is wrong, he secretly watches over his students. At the same time, the class prepares for an important school event, and Henry encourages everyone to work together instead of causing trouble. His support slowly changes the atmosphere, and even the most rebellious students begin cooperating. But the peace doesn't last. The gang finally makes its move, using one of Henry's students to lure him out. Realizing the children are now in danger because of him, Henry decides he can no longer stay in the shadows. He prepares to face the enemies head-on, determined to protect his students no matter the cost. The battle he has tried to avoid is finally about to begin. Henry follows the gang without alerting the police, knowing every second counts. The criminals believe they have finally forced him out of hiding, but they quickly realize they have underestimated him. Using his experience and incredible martial arts skills, Henry fights through one attacker after another while keeping the captured student out of harm's way. Every move is fast, precise, and controlled, proving why he was once feared by dangerous criminals. The student watches in disbelief as his quiet teacher defeats opponents who greatly outnumber him. After the rescue, Henry finally reveals that he has spent years trying to leave his violent past behind. But with his enemies refusing to let go, he understands that only one final confrontation can truly end the threat and keep his students safe forever. The gang launches its final attack, forcing Henry to face them without holding back. As the students are evacuated to safety, Henry confronts the criminals in a series of intense fights, using every skill he learned during his former life. Even though he is badly outnumbered, he refuses to let anyone reach the children. One by one, the attackers are defeated, but the gang's leader refuses to surrender. Their final duel pushes Henry to his limits, with every move carrying the weight of his past. In the end, Henry overcomes his enemy through determination and experience, finally ending the threat that has haunted him for years. With peace restored, the students realize their strict teacher wasn't just protecting a school, he was protecting their future. With the gang defeated and the police taking control of the scene, Henry finally breathes a sigh of relief. His hidden past is no longer a burden, and the students are safe. Back at school, Class 6B is completely different from when he first arrived. The once rebellious students have become more disciplined, confident, and focused on their future. They thank Henry not only for teaching them in the classroom but also for showing them the value of courage, responsibility, and never giving up. Although his journey was filled with danger, Henry proves that a great teacher can change lives both inside and outside school. The movie ends with Henry continuing his work as an educator, leaving the audience with the message that true strength is measured by the lives you inspire, not the battles you win.